Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made by real estate agents and for real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I am your guide and host through the show. And today we have our regular episode, which is called Coaching Moment with Ryan DeApril. Now, if you're not familiar with Ryan, Ryan is a progressive thought leader here in the Chicagoland area. He's focused on providing for his agents and staff. He's actually in Indiana, Illinois, and also Wisconsin. His strengths are his motivational skills, his coaching style, and his dedication to training. He has 14 offices throughout Chicagoland, also Wisconsin, Indiana, and I forgot Michigan, and has hundreds and hundreds of brokers. DeApril Properties is a coaching company with 8 strategic coaches who work week in and week out with every single agent at their firm individually, focused on business planning, coaching, and accountability. If you'd like to take your career to the next level, or if you're just maybe not getting the attention you deserve, check out DeApril Properties. Visit them online, deaprilproperties.com. Ryan, welcome once again.
Thanks, DJ. Great to see you.
I'm very dressed down today. Our listeners won't see it, but this is about as dressed down as you'll ever see me.
Nice.
So I apologize.
It must be cool in your office because it's hot outside.
It is. I keep it at 68 in here, and
Wow.
so I keep it cool.
Yeah. Then you get out and you just get hit with the heat.
I'm wearing a hoodie, so Ryan's probably wondering why I'm wearing a hoodie in this weather. It's only because a t-shirt wouldn't have looked as professional, so I'm just slightly above t-shirt into a hoodie.
I'm casual as well. I'm in a golf shirt, so that's how I.
That's a huge step above where I'm at right now. But anyway, thanks for once again being on our show.
Yeah.
How tell us what's going on. What are your thoughts? What do you want to talk about?
So what I figured we'd talk about with our agents today is kind of just bringing structure back into our life. And we are in a very abstract type world, sales, yes. Right? Being whatever sales you are in, it's a very unstructured business, and you have to know, you got to know what's important. You have to know the importance of structure. And I think the theme that I wanted to go over in today's session is structure and know your business. And there's several different areas of your business that you should know about, but I figured that's what I would cover. And I would also just, go back to some best practices as we all start to begin to feel overwhelmed running our own business. There's so much to do. And a lot of us are just busy being busy. And that's where the unproductive work comes into play. And we got to get, dial it back and figure out what's the 1, 2, or 3 things that I could be doing that's going to be moving the needle in my business. Structure will help you bring that back. And also knowing your business will help you kind of bring it back to that. So I was in my office today, and I'm out in our office in Oak Brook, which is our mortgage and title company's office here. And I have a big whiteboard across from me. And I came in there early, started working, and I felt overwhelmed. And right, you get those feelings on a daily basis.
Every day.
And so what I wrote on the top is just, I had to talk myself off the ledge. And so what I wrote at the top is time management, dummy. I mean, it's literally what's up there. And
Right.
It was just me talking to myself.
Sure.
And then I went back to the 90-91 and moved the needle and all these things that we've talked about in the past that we've read from great authors, great trainers, and everything. And how do you get yourself focused? So it comes down to knowing your business. And there's various things. What's your business? What are your statistics? What are your lead sources? You need to know that. What's your value proposition? Know your client's why. Know your why. So I was going to figure we cover all of that and figure out how do we get some good time management techniques into our day-to-day as well.
Great. That sounds awesome. I think structure is such an important topic for us to talk about time and time again, because look, if realtors out there who are listening to the show, if they're anything like me, I'm not a practicing realtor, but I bet I'm wired very similarly to the average realtor's strengths and weaknesses. I'm probably very similar. I struggle with structure, but I'm clear that it's really the path to freedom. Oddly enough, structure equals freedom, but it's something that we probably couldn't talk about it enough.
No, and also, so in our business, again, it's so abstract, it's so entrepreneurial and kind of choose your own adventure kind of day. So you really need to have a CRM, a dashboard, what we have, that's going to structure. And then, you also have to get out of your mind that the CRM is going to do it for you.
Right.
The CRM, the dashboard, we call it the dashboard, and we call it an entrepreneur operating system. Is what we have? It's what we built internally here, and you got to understand that it's only as good as the driver, which is you, the individual, and it's going to give you the lines to stay between, to focus you, to help you grow your business. But it's not going to do it for you. And that's my biggest qualm with a lot of CRMs. And it's actually not the CRMs, it's the individuals that are using them. It's like, you got to understand this thing's not going to do it for you. It's not a set it and forget it. It's a tool, right, to teach you how to be an entrepreneur. And then, I'm very transparent with my clients as a real estate agent. And I'm very transparent with my agents and my loan officers that I coach and other sales individuals that I coach. That I don't sell anything. I don't sell homes. And there is a fine line. There's people that believe I sell homes, and there's others who believe this is my belief system, I facilitate the transaction. I facilitate the sale or the purchase of your home. And it's very valuable to you, the consumer, but I know my value, and I'm able to articulate it to you. And quite honestly, you as a consumer will value that when I'm able to articulate it the right way. And then when we have conversations about where your home needs to be priced, it's not about marketing, right? It's about their why. And so again, I'm coming back to the theme of this conversation is know your business, but also know what you do. And it's not selling the product, it's really selling yourself. And so then I come over to then know your lead source. Because in sales, as an entrepreneur, right, we're responsible for everything. We're responsible for lead generation, but then we have to facilitate the transaction. Then we have to close the transaction. Well, what happens is when we get 1 or 2 clients, maybe 3 or 4 clients, we go and we focus on the facilitating of the transaction, and we forget about the lead generation aspect of this. And so then that comes back to the theme that I want to talk about from knowing your business. And then the time management, which most of us just stink in. We just have poor time management. So I tell the listeners here and the viewers, I guess now, because still getting used to this not being a podcast and being
me too.
recorded, awkward, is that you should have 1 hour a day dedicated to your lead generation aspect of it, which we talk about being in flow with your network, which is probably your biggest lead source. And that 1 hour a day should start at 9 in the morning. And because we all have a limited amount of willpower, and when we start doing other things, we're going to our willpower will be diluted, and we're not going to go back to the most important part of your business, the lead generation aspect of your business, right? Because if you don't have clients, you don't have a business. And when you get 2 or 3 clients, I tell a lot of agents, sometimes when you get a couple clients, it could be a conveyor belt right out of the business, because what you do is you focus all your time and effort on them, and then they're running your business and you're not running your business.
Right.
Robert, you're going.
Brian Buffini used to say, which I thought was a very smart and astute observation. He would say, if you're working 8 hours a day, 7 of those hours might be spent servicing your existing clients. That's customer service. You have, those are things you have to do. They're unavoidable, and they're probably the bulk of the day. But that 1 hour a day that you have left should be focused on lead gen. And if you don't do that, you really, in his words, didn't win the day. You felt busy, you were busy, you were, taking care of your customers, but you weren't pushing your business forward, which is that lead gen. So obviously I'm a big believer in that as well.
Yeah. And so that's where time management really comes into play, and you have to block it out. Robin Sharma, I think I'm saying his name properly. He wrote a wonderful book. He's a great speaker. You should all listen to him. He has a philosophy called 90-91. So it's 90 minutes, which is an hour and a half, for 90 days. What's that one thing that's going to move your needle on your business? And I think that truly is going to be opening up your dashboard, your CRM, taking an hour and a half and going to that best lead source that you have. And I do believe that the lead sources are ranked in quality. And I do believe that network is still the number one. There are listing leads, there are web purchase leads, there are open house leads. They're all good to various extents, but your network is the best lead source. And you should spend an hour and a half every single day going through and connecting with everybody in the network about them, how are they doing, and do that for an hour and a half for 3 months in a row. Okay, just do that. And then you could, in your time management activities, before you do that, you should write out 1, 2, and 3. That's the one thing. What's the second and what's the third biggest task that you could accomplish, and just worry about the day. Don't, we have 50,000 thoughts or so a day running through our head. So you got to really be disciplined in how you run your own business, how you run yourself, and just use a pen and paper and write down those 3 things. Number 1 should be the lead generation network, connecting with your network. And then number 2, number 3 are going to be other things. And they probably should be going into your prospects, looking at your warms, looking at your colds, making sure you're in flow with them, and then going 3, looking at your active clients and servicing them.
I couldn't agree more. And with respect to contacting your existing network, I think maybe there's listeners who might be thinking, well, what do I say? And that's, why am I calling? And Ryan, you briefly mentioned check in with them, see how they're doing.
Yeah. And it's not about you. I mean, remember that, folks.
Right.
What do I say? It's not about you. Ask a question.
Yeah, all you have to do, and we're sort of, not that there's any positives to the pandemic, but if there was a silver lining of sorts, it's that people are more isolated. They're yearning for human connection. They want so desperately for someone to care about them enough to call and see how they're doing, or text, or write a comment on a social media post, or just pay attention to them and connect. And this is what deepens relationships. And it's you don't have to worry about talking about real estate necessarily. This is a call just to see how people are, and it's going to reap so much. Obviously, it's going to deepen your personal connection with them, which has its own benefit. But from a business perspective, people want to work with people who they feel care about them. So this is a great opportunity to deepen those relationships.
Right. And, I tell people that I have a love-hate relationship with social media.
Right.
What I hate about it is the nonsense and how it can make you feel with the FOMO, and how it can make your friends feel, or your daughters. Like, I have 3 daughters, right? And that it's somewhat of a make-believe world out there. But the love that I have for social media is not marketing. It's the R&D. And I tell everybody I use Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as R&D. I research my network, and then I develop a relationship with them. So if you're wondering, what am I going to say? Well, take an hour and a half, 5 days a week, and slow down, turn everything off, pick one person out of your network, in your CRM, in your dashboard, and go research them. Go research them where you can, and then take the steps to develop a relationship with them. Change up the mediums, maybe do it a text message, maybe do a DM them, maybe an email, maybe a handwritten note.
Yep.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. But now I'm going to shift. Let's talk about what you know.
Before you shift, real quickly, I have a pro tip for everyone, because you mentioned LinkedIn, and a lot of people might not know this, is LinkedIn has in the activity feed, or your notification feed. I believe it's in your notification feed. If you go on there every morning, you will see, number 1, who's got a birthday. So great opportunity to reach out and just say happy birthday. But number 2 and 3, people who start new positions, or new jobs, or have work anniversaries. So think about, somebody says, oh, they just celebrated 5 years at their company. That's a great reason to reach out and say, hey, I just saw that. Congratulations. And maybe that's a phone call or a text message or whatever, however you want to communicate that. That is a unique opportunity that costs you virtually nothing. It's the easiest R&D, because it's there for you every day in your feed. And all you have to do is just look at it and then reach out and make that person's day by noticing them.
Yeah. It's interesting when I consult with agents and I help them on deals that they're working. I always go to a standby. I have a question. We'll get in a conversation about a couple that they're working with, and they'll talk about one couple, and I'll ask about the other person in the relationship, and I'll say, well, what does he do for a living? No, I don't know.
Right.
Where does he work? I don't know. Where does she work then? I think she works here. What does she do?
Right.
I don't know. And I'm like, you really got to understand what we do for a living, you guys. And the agents that have to discount their commission are the agents that actually think they sell homes.
Right.
They don't know what their value is, and they are working in a world of fear because they think anybody can do this. And quite honestly, anybody can. You could put a home on the market, and if the home is priced properly, it probably is going to sell. The reality is we're dealing with human beings, and there's a lot going on. We are consultants. We're paid well. We should be paid well. The consumer is willing to pay us well. But if you know what your business is going to determine that. So if you don't know who your consumer is, if you don't know who your client is, you don't know where they work, you don't know what they do for a living, how are you going to consult and work with them and give them advice? If you don't know what their why is, how are you going to guide them through the woods? And so again, the theme of this coaching session is know your stuff, time management, and know your stuff. And your stuff is your clients. It's also the market statistics. You know, we really pump data to our agents on a, gosh, if not daily, every other day basis about what the market is going on. So I'll give you an example. Do you know your market stats, right? And we're here in Chicago, so it's Chicagoland. And there's so many different ways, from broker metrics to, oh God, I just drew a blank. That's the red and white graph. Anyways, it's another tool that we have, InfoSparks. Okay.
Yes.
And it depends on, you know, different marketplaces and different MLSs that what they have, but what is going on with supply? What is going on with your demand? What's going on with the average price? What is that in single family homes, and what is that in detached homes? Take a little time once a month to know that, right? And I just pulled up some statistics here, just since I said that, when I just tell our Chicagoland listener here, you know, you have two types of, you have month over month over 2 years supply and demand, and then price, and then you have 6 weeks rolling. So if we look at 2 years, and we're going to look at last April, because May's not done yet. Okay. May's not over with yet, right?
Nope, few days left.
We have a few more days. So 2 years ago, April, compared to this past April, supply's down 20%, and demand's down 27%. That's not surprising. I mean, people pulled their homes off the market,
Sure.
and then people just pulled away. Now, down 27% is starting to rise up. So that's a good sign, right? And so now I could have a conversation with you if you're a consumer, because I know this stuff and I can tell you why that is. And then that's supply and demand, which is cause. Now, if you cohort effect, actually homes are selling 1% more than they were 2 years ago. So we didn't really take a hit. Now, if we look at the 6 weeks, right? If we look at 6 weeks, so last week ending, which was maybe May 24th or 23rd, in the previous 6 weeks, supply is down 4%, right? So supply was down 20%. Now supply is down 4%. Demand's up almost 30%. It's up 28%. Oh, by the way, this took me 3 minutes.
Right.
We have so many tools. Right? It took me 3 minutes before a call. And then what took me 3 minutes is writing on the whiteboard so I could look at it, but it was right in front of my screen. So supply's down 4%, demand's up 28%. But in a 6 week rolling average, people are pricing their homes 9% more. They're actually selling at 10.6%. Now, this is just for single family homes. But I'm in our building here in Oak Brook, and I'm looking at our site because we kind of need to expand. And I was with a commercial real estate agent, a CBRE, right?
Sure.
Bigwig.
Yeah.
And he says, well, what's going on with the housing market, right? And I'm a real estate agent. I'm a residential person, and I'm the professional. And he says, our price is taking a hit. I said, no, prices are going up. He goes, really? I go, yeah, there's a lack of inventory, and the demand is there. And you guys, I mean, this business is so much fun. There's so much data. Everybody wants to talk about real estate. So take time, manage your time, educate yourself, know your business, know your market stats, know your lead source, know your value proposition, know your why, know your client's why, and then dial it back one day at a time. And use what Robin Sharma talks about, 90-91, an hour and a half, 90 days in a row, do the one thing. Once that's done, then you can knock out the 2 other things and then go freestyle for the rest of the day. That's all going to come to you. And that's what most people start with, is the freestyle. And that's the biggest problem.
Well, because things hit us all day long, which come into our inbox or our phone, and they appear urgent because they're immediate, right? So something comes, and this was a Stephen Covey thing, was to ask, is this urgent? Is it urgent or not urgent? Is it important or not important? So he has
Yeah,
quadrants to say it. And it's a really important thing to know when your client is texting you. Is it urgent and important for me to respond within 2 minutes? What's the expectation I have set with this client? What's this client think the expectation is? Have I defined that so that they don't feel that I'm dropping the ball if I don't reply for 4 hours or 24 hours even?
right.
What's the expectation? And having a policy in place to know, what's the expectation so that when things hit me, do I have to stop what I'm doing? Is it urgent? Is it important? Or is it something that can be answered at a later time? I
Right.
think that's a really important thing for agents to
Right.
identify, but also to communicate with their clients. Otherwise, the client might have a completely different expectation.
Well, yeah, and you guys don't be hard on yourselves either, because this is a work in progress. I mean, when I coach groups of people, individuals, I will two, 3 times throughout an hour to 2 hour session, I'll pause and say, everybody, please turn your phones back upside down. Turn your phones back upside down and,
Yeah.
and focus on here. I mean, you're getting a ton of value here, but what happens is our brains release dopamine, right?
Yeah.
When you drink a drink, you smoke a cigarette, or you go for a run, you do all these different things, good or bad habits, right? I named 2 bad habits and then one of the good one. Um, your phone is releasing dopamine, so you become addicted to it, and you're addicted to distraction. And distraction is the enemy of progress. Again, to quote
Right.
Robin Sharma, but that's just the truth. Distraction is the enemy of progress. So listen, we're not all perfect, and we just got to carve out. This comes down to time management. Carve out 1 or 2 hours a day. But excuse me, do it, guys. 5 days in a row. Make it a habit. And going back to your emails, I think I'm just going to take a quick peek here at this. If I could look, I have 180,000 unread emails, and but this is a good point with and so what I want to communicate to our listeners here as well is understand people don't read either. So
Right.
sometimes get your message out in the subject line, right? Get your message out in the subject line, and then what I do is I just scan. I can tell what's important by looking at the subject line. Half of it's spam and all that
Right.
stuff. But I don't. I look at my email. I try to limit to 1 hour, once an hour, and look at it. And most things can wait. Everything can wait. What shouldn't wait is you. What shouldn't wait
Right.
is your business. And nobody's going to do it for you guys. Nobody's going to do it for you. So you need to be disciplined. You need to set some structure for yourself. Know your business, know where your business is coming from. So then you could take the activities to continue getting business from that best lead source.
Yeah, I think if you're thinking to structure your day, a really simple structure could be, as Ryan said, spend 90 minutes a day, 5 days a week, connecting with your sphere of influence, your contact list, the people you're closest to, contact them, connect with them, make that maybe the first 90 minutes of the day. And then, if you want to just make it a full 2 hours, make that last 30 minutes knowing your market, knowing your statistics. If you just spent 2 hours a day, prospecting and also learning your business within 90 days, you will have so many leads and so much additional knowledge. You won't believe what that will do to your ability to better communicate with clients, be able to serve them better, and also just to find more clients to work with.
Right.
It's a great strategy. And then, like Ryan said, the maybe the remaining 5 hours or 6 hours of the day, or 6+ hours a day is freewheeling. Whatever comes your way, you're gonna react to it. You're gonna service your clients. You're gonna do all the things that you have to do. But yeah, maybe carve out those 2 hours and just make it non-negotiable. Just your phone goes off and you just get to work.
Again, I'm an advocate of CRMs, and ideally real estate or mortgage lending CRMs, and the one that we custom built, because I couldn't find it out there, but one that we custom built is knowing your forecast and what you're going to do that calendar year.
Yeah.
We were just working with one of our agents, and she consistently does between $10 and $12 million a year. And, the agent was saying, well, I've only done 3 sales. I've only done 3 sales. But
Yeah.
then we opened up the snapshot of her dashboard, and she's forecasted at $11 million already, because her prospects are graded properly. Her actives are graded properly. It calculates it and tells you what your forecast is. And if you don't have a CRM that does it, then take a piece of paper and write it down. Who are your warm prospects? What does warm mean? You have to define it. Here's what warm means to me. You are 90% certain they're going to transact this calendar year, so before December 31st, 2020, and you're 90% certain they're going to use you. Then you have, and then you add up their sales volume. Then you have your active clients. Now there you got to calibrate it too, right? Your active buyers, you're 90% certain, and you'll know. And then your listings, are they priced properly? Do you have real true sellers? And then when the answer is yes, you add them up. And then you look at what you closed, and then you look at what you have under contract, and there is your forecast, folks. And that should not take you more than 20 minutes. That could be your number 2 thing. And you could probably do that once a week instead of 5 times a week. 5 days a week, you should be in your network, in your CRM, making live flow with your network. Twice a week, you should be looking at your business. You're grading your temperatures, knowing your forecast, so you're going to glide into the sales goal that you want. And then you need to take time to educate yourself and know, again, market statistics, your lead source, your value proposition, all those things that you don't really do on a weekly basis, but you should be doing on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I think that's a great structure. And everyone who's out there listening, this is a great time, whereas we're all probably a little less busy than we normally are if things weren't the way they are currently, or that we won't be once things return fully to normal. So this is a great time to figure out, okay, where are there some opportunity for creating better structure?
Mm-hmm. And there's opportunities everywhere. There's opportunities everywhere to create better structure for yourself. It's just dialing it back, turning the technology off, get a good old fashioned piece of paper, and pen, and maybe write down what you want to do, and then create habits for yourself. What's the 1 hour, and understand things are going to come up and pull you off your block. Just get back onto it the next day.
Yeah, it's that old sort of meditation, sort of exercise where it's like you don't have to perfectly, wipe your mind, but you want to observe thoughts as they come in, and then when you find yourself off track, you just readjust. You get back to center. That's the other thing too, is perfectionism is really a huge problem for anyone trying to become more productive, because we don't tend to factor in challenges or imperfection, or just life is going to come in and disrupt your structure. It's going to happen. So build in a little flexibility there to give yourself the leeway that you're going to need when things just come and hit you in the face that you weren't expecting, and you have to react to it.
Yeah, and remember this, and I think this might be a good way to kind of close our session here. But remember this, you guys. This is a tough truth in life: is success and in business, success in business, and success in life. It's a choice, and it's your choice to make. It's simple, but it is a conscious decision. We run our lives subconsciously. So in your moments of consciousness and clarity, you got to stop yourself. You got to write down, what is it I'm going to do? Understand your biggest obstacle to success is your time management and your belief probably in yourself to do it. Once you just start taking little baby steps and start working into this process and educating you're going to eventually start having what we call the snowball effect. And it actually does get easier and easier. You will fall off the wagon. You just jump back on and you do these things to control your business.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you can just remember that if all you ever do is just keep going for it and just keep courageously moving forward, even in the face of not wanting to do it some days, or something really knocked me off track, or I got some really bad news and lost a client, I just want to check out the rest of the day. Okay, give yourself an hour or two to check out. Allow that, because you need to process difficult feelings, and we all have them as they come up, especially in these days. There's lots of hard feelings. So process those, give yourself the flexibility to do that, and then try to just try again. Keep, habits are, gosh, they're everything, aren't they?
Habits are everything. And also, structure is everything.
Yeah.
And I just got a text from somebody who said, maybe I'll do this next time in our session. I do some screenshots and I'll show people how you could structure yourself and categorize. I think I could do a screen share here where I
Yeah,
could put a little
absolutely.
slideshow up for you.
For sure.
I'll do that next time, and I'll show everybody how you could. I'll give you some visual aids on how you could structure your time properly. And I'll even look at some other CRMs I can to see if there's other ways that people could do it. But you gotta buy into that, you guys, and you gotta get away from the abstract. Sales shouldn't be abstract. Sales is a process. It's a
Right.
process. Just follow the process. Follow the rule book. Everything else will become easier for you.
And thankfully, the path to success is well trodden and it's been well defined. And there's lots of different ways to get there. But the good news is you don't have to figure it out. You just have to pick a discipline and proceed boldly. And if you just do that, way dumber people than you have been successful, way less disciplined people than you have been successful, and less skilled people have been successful. So you probably have a huge advantage because there's something that you're really strong at. But maybe if you lack structure, like a lot of us do, I know I do. This is, or rather, I struggle with staying on task. So it's a daily reminder for me. This is the boulder I push up the hill every day, is structure and discipline. And if I can just find the courage and energy to push that boulder up the hill, I know that my life is ultimately better. My business is better. My relationships are better.
Right.
I have to have even structure around, I'm going to visit my girlfriend. Okay, what are some things that are important to her that I need to think about doing so that when I get to her place, I don't forget? Because, when I get to her place and I visit with her, maybe something comes and disrupts. Okay, I have to remember there's 3 things I wanted to, that are important to her that I want to share with her, or there's something I want to say to her, right? I have to structure that out. It's maybe not the most romantic thing, but it's a good example of, if I don't do that, I forget to do certain things, or I just get and so that's a more personal as example. But the idea is that have your day structured out, but add in some flexibility as well to have life come at you.
Yeah. Well, thanks,
Well,
DJ. I appreciate you
yeah,
having me.
yeah, thanks once again. And so a great teaser for next time. So on our next coaching moments, which we do once a month, maybe Ryan will be able to do some screen shares to show, visually how to structure. We'll
I'll
figure
show
out a
you the
way to,
sales process. Yeah, I'll
that would
put
be
it
great.
together and I'll show you the sales process from lead source to prospects, active to close, and give you an idea of what that forecasting looks like. Because a lot of times people don't forecast, and we forecast weekly, because you set a goal and then you have these activities. You should have a forecast kind of coming into where it is. I could show that to you so
That'd be
you get a
great.
feel for what that looks like. Okay.
Yeah, and I bet most brokers are listening, most realtors listening probably don't have a good tool for forecasting, or don't really know how to do that, other than, well, I can just add everything up. But Ryan's going to get a little bit more specific on how to do that. So we'll look forward to that on the next episode. For everyone listening, if you are in the Chicagoland area or Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, Ryan and his company have offices, and they would love to speak with you. If you're looking for another firm, or maybe you're brand new to the business, maybe you're a mortgage lender as well. Ryan has a mortgage company. So definitely reach out, whether you're a realtor or in lending, and you're looking for maybe a new place to call home. Pardon the pun. That is deepening Properties is a great company, and Ryan is the head of the company, and also goes and coaches the coaches. So their coaches are getting coached by Ryan, and Ryan's also working directly with the agents. So the best way to reach out is deaprilproperties.com. That's DAPRILE properties.com. And you can learn all about Ryan's company and what they offer agents. And Ryan, thanks again for being on the show. On behalf of our listeners, this is actually one of our most popular segments. We look at, as far as forecasting goes, we look at all of our data as well. And this is such a popular series that we do. So we appreciate, on behalf of listeners, thank you for your continued involvement. And then on behalf of Ryan and myself, I want to thank all the listeners for continuing to listen and support our show. We ask that everyone just do 2 quick things before stopping the episode, which is, 1, please tell a friend. Think of one other real estate professional that could benefit from hearing this particular episode with Ryan, and around structure and discipline, and knowing, sort of how to manage your day, and pass this over to them. We just rebuilt our website. So the easiest way is maybe just shoot them a link over to our site, which is keepingitrealpod.com. Also, let us know what you think of the new website. I spent a lot of time on it, so hopefully people like it. You can actually also even go by the different shows we have. You can actually listen to, so if you want to listen to all the Ryan coaching moments, you can actually do that by scrolling to the bottom, and you'll see all of Ryan's episodes you can listen to in order. And then also the second thing is to please follow us on Facebook. You can find us at facebook.com/keepingitrealpod. Two reasons. Number one, we post an article that we find every single day. We post an article that we find online written to help you build your business. And then we also post, of course, links to all of our episodes. And you can actually watch us recording episodes in real time there as well. So Ryan, thanks again. We appreciate you being part of the show, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks, CJ.